Hello everyone! New release from Studio Katia. I'm part of the blog hop. More info about that will be on my blog post. I want to do a quick sort of release and review video before I get into the actual card making portion. This was actually supposed to be their May release, but because of like the manufacturing delays, shipping delays, all that, they pushed back their release till now. So I have most of it here. There's a couple things I don't have. I'll just, post links to them, whatever. And then I will get into the actual card making portion. So let's get into like the stamps that I've got here first. We have the sports balls trimmings, and there's several different, she calls them trimmings in her Studio Katia stamp set. And I've done like the Halloween one, there's a floral one, there's pomegranate, there's citrus, all that sort of stuff. And they're designed to kind of be kind of flat on the bottom and then a curve. And you can use both together as a background or separate. So this one with all the sports balls, love it. There is a coordinating wafer die set that will cut out like the edges of this, and there's even a little tiny spot that'll cut out that little opening. Love it. And then we've got the word coach and dad included in there. So that's really cool. So we've got that one. There's a sentiment set that is the happy celebrations. So we've got Easter, 4th of July, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Canada Day, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's, Hanukkah, Christmas, Halloween time, all year round. Love. So there's the sentiment set. We have another sentiment set, and this one is the Trimmings sayings. So this one's curved to kind of go along with those images. So we've got the whole bunch of sentiments. We've got best wishes, happy Father's Day, happy Mother's Day, sending happy hello, you're so kind, congratulations, etc. And then there is a banner wafer die too that will work. And again, these kind of work in conjunction with these images, like the curve of it all, so you can use different sentiments or use these sentiments with them, and it's a set of two. So you have a smaller banner and a longer banner, just depending on what you're doing. And then yeah, a bunch of these sentiments will fit within. So I think that's really just, I like it. I like the coordinatingness of it all. Then we have this one, which is just lovely. This is the Flourishing Note. So you got like an envelope with all these flowers. So just a note, hello. Just a note to say hello, happy mail, thank you. Like, just pretty. There is a coordinating wafer die to cut out the image, and then a hello wafer die in the similar font as that. So I love it. Just pretty. Floral anything, of course, always gets me. And we've got this little cake image. That's really cute. It's just a mini birthday cake. Just cute. Love it. So we got the mini birthday cake, and there is a coordinating wafer die. So got that. And then there is an alphabet set and a number set. And I literally just have them kind of sitting here because I'm using them in the card that's coming up. So I have it like partially cut apart. So you got a whole bunch of numbers and letters. So we got the letters, there's exclamation point, etc. And then we've got the numbers, which I like it. Also, you have the @ symbol, so you could totally do like a hashtag, so you could do the number symbol or just the @ symbol and do whatever. So you could almost create your own little custom, like a background or something if you're doing like the little videos and stuff with your like handle, that sort of thing. So I kind of really like that. Really, and I like the style of these, a little more whimsical, a little more rounded. Because I've always said I have a soft spot for alphabet sets. I have a ton of alphabet dies, but I like different ones because I have a lot of ones that are very, very square, very boxy. So this is just really cute, and this goes with a lot of Studio Katia fonts and whatnot. So there's that, and then there's this rectangular dots cover wafer die. So it die cuts and it embosses like a frame around the edge, and then you have all of these like dotted rectangles, and I assume, but I'm not sure, but I'm kind of assuming it's like almost like letterboard style. And the neat thing is it kind of makes a perfect backdrop for these letters, so you can spell out different phrases, etc. So just cool. I really like it. Hopefully here, yeah, you know, just a neat sort of a texture to everything. Hopefully I got there we go. So, got those. And then we have some Slimline wafer die sets, of course. I'm very excited about these because if you haven't been watching my last like couple months worth of videos, they're pretty much all Slimline cards because I'm obsessed. So there's the dotted Slimline set 1. So it's a set of 2 wafer dies. And what I like about this one, I didn't notice it at first, is it's like, you know, it's got your rectangular with, and it'll do the little piercing dots, but it's got 2 rounded edges. You know, so it just gives it that extra something. I really like that. And then we've got the oval wafer die that will cut a window. There's like the oval frame in the center, and then you have piercing dots on the inside and outside. So you could use that to create a window, and it would have the piercing detail around it and do like a shaker, etc. Or you could just use a centerpiece and it'll have the piercing dots, or just use the frame. I really like this. I think I've mentioned this in other videos. I struggle with oval wafer dies. I have a really hard time lining them up, but obviously with something like this, it would be pretty simple. You know, elongate the rectangle and I can actually start lining up some ovals within that. Way better than I can with A2 sized. So that's set 1. And then we've got set 2 of Slimline. So this is dotted Slimline set 2. This one is a set of 3 wafer dies. So you have your, like what I'll call the base. And this is the standard size that I always work with. So 3.5 by 8.5. So it's your standard rectangle. It has the piercing dots. And then we've got a scalloped rectangle with larger piercing dots and a little pierced dot frame. And then we've got this, like, I guess you could call it fancy label. So you use all 3 together, use them separately, everything. And same thing, this could be used to create a window because it has the piercing dots on the inside and the outside. So got that. And then, of course, this whole time, Katia has released their first set of pattern paper. And it makes me happy because it is rainbow and black and white. So what else can I say other than I love it? I love it. So we've got like rainbow stripes and like rainbow diamond pattern and like mixed up stripes. And then like kind of a larger, almost like a tire pattern in a sense, you know, like cross hatching and all that. So rainbow, love, just love. And then black and white. So you got all these different black and white patterns, exact same as the rainbow, just in black and white. So I love it, of course, because that's what I'm into. So love these so much. These actually I had on top because I was going to use them for that card. So I got those, and then last but certainly not least, Studio Katia has released a whole bunch of bling. I've been just like sitting here and playing with it all. So yeah, tons of bling. We've got a whole bunch of crystals. These are all the solid color crystals. I'm not sure if these are being released yet or if they're later. I'm not 100% certain, I think. Again, I'll have links to everything that is available. Stuff is a little more difficult for places to source and manufacture, all of it. So we have crystals, and then we've got pearls. I'm in love with all the pearls. Like, I can't have enough. So, oh, I love these ones. These are the Bora Bora pearls. Bora Bora, amethyst, bluebell, moss green, wineberry, storm cloud. Love. So we got solid color crystals with the shimmer iridescent, pearls, and then like iridescent crystals. So we've got mallow, rogue pink or rouge pink, lipstick red, beautifulness. And then last but certainly not least, there's the vanilla luster fusion sequin mix. These have like a pinky purple iridescence to them. I love it. And then the wedding bells mix, which is like clear crystals, kind of cloudy sequins, clear, really pretty. These are so good for just because they go with everything. I'm already thinking, I'm like, I might use this one right away. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And then I'm going to get into the actual card. So, of course, I used the pattern paper like I said I was gonna. I used the dotted Slimline set 2 wafer dies. And I've shown this in other Slimline card videos, like me adhering pattern paper together, because obviously when your card is 8.5 inches long, pattern paper is only 6 inches. You got to get a little creative, either piecing it together like this, or, you know, you could hide, you know, just use a portion of the paper and then have die cut images, etc. So for this, I adhered this black and white striped pattern paper together. This was super easy. You know, it's a continuing pattern. No real trouble. Some patterns would be really hard to piece together. And I mentioned this before, it's like lining up wallpaper, you know, which used to be a thing. And then it wasn't a thing. And now, like with all the new like modern wallpapers. Anyway, back to the card. So I pieced the paper together, adhered it, trim down the excess so I can use, like, some of it I'm going to use on the inside, the rest I'm just going to save with the package. And then I die cut this with the largest wafer die in that dotted Slimline set. So this ends up being, this will be the base of my card front, and it's 3.5 by 8.5. And then I decided to piece together one of the rainbow patterns, and same thing, really easy to line up just because it's just a repeating simple pattern. So I lined up the papers again, adhered them down. I'm just using some craft tacky adhesive. And then I'm going to die cut this one with the scalloped wafer die in that same dotted Slimline set 2 set. And I also cut down just some black cardstock to back that, which I will do when I actually put the card front together. And then for like the main focus of my card, I'm just using this chunky alphabet wafer die set. I ran all these letters through twice with white cardstock. And I'm stacking all those together just to give each letter a bit of, you know, depth and dimension. And then I ran them through a third time with some black glitter cardstock. So it's one of those things where it's a bit subtle, and yet again, when the light catches it, you got that little bit of glittery fun. So I ran all these through, and I'd lined this all up before I even started my card, and it just worked so nicely. So that's why I just focused on just the wafer dies. I don't do any stamping. I didn't do any stamping on this card. For me, that's kind of weird. So I spelled out happy birthday with the chunky alphabet. So I just sat and I was like, yeah, I was watching Animal Crossing island tour videos while I adhered all these letters together. It actually didn't take that long at all. And of course, because they're not, you know, super tiny or super fine or anything, they adhered, no problem. So to adhere them, obviously, because they're the main focus, because, you know, this is the card, I lined up the scalloped piece just on my grid mat and kind of found my center area. That's where I laid the embellishment wand, just to give me that visual. I've been saying this lately in videos. It's not like it used to be. As the older I get, you know, my eyeballing skills and lining things up and seeing things straight just ain't working as well as it used to. So I used my embellishment wand to kind of mark where the center of this was. And then I was using my T-square ruler to give me a straight edge. For the happy, it was pretty easy. I just lined it up and I used a piece of washi tape to pick up all the letters at once, adhere them all at once. Just saves you a ton of time. With some, you know, small embellishments or letters, etc., that's an easier way. I found with the birthday, that was going to be a lot more difficult. I was going to do the same thing with the washi tape. But then I found since I had the happy already adhered, it was just easier. I kind of lined everything up first here, and then I just decided to adhere kind of starting from the middle and working my way out, each letter individually, because it just worked. And again, using my T-square ruler, because that's just perfect to kind of butt all the bottoms up, so everything's just straight, and we're good to go. So I adhered the letters and the exclamation point with the craft tacky adhesive. And then I adhered this panel to that black cardstock I'd cut down. That just kind of gave a little bit more of a solid base to it and broke up because, like, I got a lot of patterns going on this card front. So adhere that to the black cardstock, and then I'm going to pop this onto that striped pattern background with Studio Katia's foam tape. So I'm going to cover the back of this with foam tape. And then when I peel off the backing, I am going to put craft tacky glue on this. It's another thing that I'm just doing more and more lately. I never used to do this, but again, with foam tape, the minute you go to press it down, it's stuck. It's good. It's stuck down. You're not moving it. And if it's not straight, you're going to tear your cardstock. So putting a liquid adhesive over the foam tape just gives you that wiggle room, so I can, you know, wiggle it into place, get it lined up, and then press it down, and then we're good to go. So got the card front made. My card base, I was just heavyweight white cardstock cut to 7 inches by 8.5, and then I score it at 3.5 inches with my Teflon bone folder. So this will be a 3.5 inch by 8.5 inch slimline card. And the inside of the card I kept super simple. I just used the pattern papers, and that's it. I thought, you know, I was going to add sentiments, this, that, and the other thing, and decided, no, I'm going to use these pattern papers. I want to use a bigger piece of the rainbow one because I wanted the rainbow colors. So with that and the stripes, after, you know, lining everything up and adhering it, I just left it. You know, like the rest of the area is enough to write, you know, sentiments to the recipient. So adhered those, and then I'm going to adhere the card front to the card base. And then once that's adhered, I am going to add a ton of the Vanilla Fusion Sequins. All this new bling, it's like I technically could have gone all out, you know, and just added like all that new bling. But again, it's already busy enough with the rainbow pattern and the black and white stripes and the scallops and the piercing and the black glitter letters. So I just use those Vanilla Fusion, and they're perfect because they're just, they have that shimmer to them, you know, the reflection in the light, and yet they're very subtle. So it's not just this big distraction, which I can say all these words, but it's like, you guys know me. I'll add 10 pounds of splatter and bling and Nouveau drops and all that stuff. But just start with these, but I added a ton of them, like way more than I would normally do because again, they were so subtle. I just tucked them in all over the place. I tucked them under the scalloped edges. I stuck them all around the sentiments. It was just fun. So I adhered them with the craft tacky glue and using my little embellishment wand. And then once these are adhered, this card is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching, for subscribing, thumbs up, and commenting, all that stuff. I really appreciate the support. I'll have links in the description box below the video. I will have a link to my blog post because, like I said, this is part of a blog hop. So we've got giveaways, and there's a bunch of inspiration from fabulous designers, cards using all these other products that were released. So that will be linked in my blog post, which is linked directly below the video. So you can check that out below if you're interested. Again, thank you all so much. I hope you're all happy and healthy, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.